this is Janet Aller. You are with Hershend Entertainment.
Right, Hershend Family Entertainment.
Yeah, and that includes Silver City, Whitewater,
Showboat Branson Val, Wilderness Campground,
and
and many other entities across the United States.
and you are basically in charge of marketing
Here
all
in Branson.
those. Oh,
Here in
here in
Branson.
Branson.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
Silver
see.
Dollar City, Showboat Branson Val, Whitewater, and the campground here in Branson.
I
That's under
gotcha.
my direction.
Well, the first question I always ask somebody I interview is, how did you get your start into marketing?
I am actually very fortunate to have gone to school and gotten my degree. I have a business degree with a major in advertising and a minor in marketing. And but when I came to Branson, I knew that Silver Dollar City was the company that I wanted to get
Mm-hmm.
to, and at the time there were no marketing jobs available. And so, knowing that I needed to get into the company, I took a job in HR. And so I
Oh,
spent 1 year in human resources, actually, and did all those kinds of very in the box kinds of thinking. It's all black and white when you're in HR. And so you put a marketer in HR. It's not very pleasant. And it wasn't a happy experience for me. But again, my intent wasn't to stay in HR and have a
right.
lifelong goal of being there. My lifelong goal was to get into marketing. And so I knew that at some point in time, even if I had to wait a couple of years to get into this company, I was going to have to do what I had to do. And I think that's the key to maybe changing a paradigm out there for a student or even an adult looking for another job. Find the company you want to work for,
That's
and then
interesting.
work your way into what you want to be or to do.
That is, yeah, that's an unusual. Everybody thinks they want to have this kind of a job, and they don't really pay too much attention to what kind of company it is. More looks at salaries, benefits, and that
Sure.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
How, ha- you didn't just jump into though the marketing management position
No,
after
actually,
that.
no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Actually, what happened? A position came open for in public relations, publicity, and one of the great things about Silver Dollar City and this company is that the PR department will drive nearly as much exposure as the bought advertising does. And so I started in PR, and it was so funny because the director of PR, her name is Lisa Rao, and she is like, I would think the best PR person that we've got in this region. She is just a dynamo and really understands her business. So I was really thankful that I could come and learn under her
Hmm.
because she was so good at what she did. But more importantly than that, she sat me down and she said, "Okay, now Janet, I don't know you that well, and you're coming from HR, and she said, so we'll just do this for 3 months, and if and this will just be a trial,
Yeah.
And I said, okay, cool, because I knew once I got into something that I'd be okay with it. And so I came into marketing on a 3-month little project basis thing, and so the rest is history. And I've been here for 18 years. And but again, my goal was to get into marketing. PR is a part of marketing, so that
Hmm.
was a natural catalyst then for me to kind of do and grow and with the company.
It's a great story.
It is. It's a good story, and it's one of those things that I'm very proud of because it was. I love this company, and I'm glad that I was able to do things that I did.
Well, and you also teach marketing at Missouri State.
I do. I teach entertainment marketing on Wednesday nights at Missouri State, so it's a natural a love of this business that lets me do that because very long days. You
Yeah.
know that you're working another job, so very long days, and this has been a very trying time for all businesses with the
Hmm.
economy and things like that. And so, but my respite is Missouri State and talking to the kids and being able to just give them the real world experiences of an entertainment marketer.
What is it about marketing that drew you to it, other than accounting or sales or some other type of
I
position?
think I gravitated towards marketing and advertising because there's a science to it. So it's not like you're walking away from the finance because it's all about budget and return on investments and all those EBITDAs and all those words and things that we use in our business. But I loved it because I knew it would be changing, it would be dynamic,
Hmm.
it wouldn't be anything that would get old. I knew that we would, that when you're advertising or you're doing special projects or writing brochures, that I was going to be able to use my right brain and my left brain, and that intrigued me because I like to think that I'm creative on one side, but I also like the business side too. And so, marketing really allows you to do it all. You know.
You touched on something about the it's dynamic. So the marketing mix you use today is probably not the same mix you used 20 years ago.
Absolutely, it is not. And the deal is, you have to be able to change to your audience's whims on a just on a dime.
Really?
Yeah, you really do. I mean, because the nut of it is, our audience of today isn't what they were 20 years ago or 18 years ago when I came to Silver Dollar City, and the audience that we're looking towards getting in the future is vastly different from the one that visits today. You know, you're talking about back when Silver Dollar City started 50 years ago, and we're actually celebrating our 50th anniversary next year in 2010.
Wow.
Yeah, and but back then, you know, we were the only entertainment offering
Mm-hmm.
with a couple of shows in Branson. Well, now you've got about 60 shows in Branson. You've got multiple layers of entertainment that's out there. And so from a regional perspective, you know, we draw 2 million people to the marketplace. There's 8 million total, so we're taking a quarter of the folks coming in. But there's still a lot of options out there, you know. Well, now we're to a point where, you know, families are looking for value
Mm-hmm.
when they visit. We have a $50 gate. That's not the way that anyone needs to visit Silver Dollar City by any means. You know, that we throw other ticket packages out there. But mom's looking for value. She wants to make sure that her kids are entertained. You know, she does this. Saving for a family vacation is a huge deal this year because, you know, of the way that the economy sits. And so our customer by season changes. We have a senior customer truly impacted by the stock
Yeah.
market. You have your family vacationer that's really looking for a value because, you know what, that husband that's working or that mom that's working, they may have been asked to take a day
Mm-hmm.
off furlough per month for the next 5 months to kind of help with the state of the business. And so we know and understand that. And so that we didn't have to worry about that 3 years ago.
That's
We
yeah.
were at the height of the 90s when the
Mm-hmm.
stock market was just jamming out there. And so you have to look at the changing conditions of the marketplace, what your customer is reacting to, and we know it because we research with them. So we ask them questions, we understand who they are, we know who we're targeting, and you just can't take this shotgun approach out there anymore.
Well, that's a great question. How do you know who your customer is? Is it through the surveys, through your attendees, and
Absolutely.
getting a better understanding? I see.
Absolutely, we do. We talk to our customer. Actually, we are out on our park for the days that we're open from, sorry
No,
about
it's fine. You're busy.
that, from April through December. We'll go out and take at least 30 one-on-one surveys with people every day
Wow.
to talk to them about what their experience was, what they thought about the festivals or whatever. And then every night we have a telephone bank where we've asked customers if we can call them back. And so we'll talk to them via telephone, we'll send email surveys, and so we do a tremendous amount of research with our customer.
I know our company does some survey data entry and that sort of thing. I had no idea though you did that. It was that extensive.
Yeah, it's extensive.
Wow.
It's extensive. Because again, I mean, what you don't want to do, you know, everyone presumes that you know what you're doing or you know
Right.
what's best for everyone. I mean, we are guilty of that as well. But, you know, we also, if we are going to present a new ride or if we're going to open a new show or whatever, we just want to know what our customer thinks about that. We know that mom is the decision maker, but that's like world renowned. We all know
Yeah.
that. You know, she's making 90% of the decisions out there with the family's money. So she's our primary target.
I
Is
see.
mom. We talk to her.
Well, what's